Holostars English. The boys are back in town! Holostars has just debuted a second party in the Tempus Guild, and that means it's time for me to stare at more techno-fantasy art and characters. First off, if you haven't seen my first Tempus video, I highly recommend going to watch that, as it explains the story thus far and lays the groundwork of world building that we're gonna be using here. Secondly, the only information we're basing this on is initial debuts and official lore videos or resources. Quite simply, I don't have time to go through every possible stream and wait for the slightest random bits of lore to be casually dropped, so we try to keep it to the most official sources we can. Finally, once again, I'm not going to be going in debut order, but instead focus on the points as they become relevant. Now then, let's start with a few corrections / clarifications on things I missed, got wrong, or got partially right in my first video. First off, Elysium is a digital world. I was right on that fact, though according to the website, Elysium is a bit more than an RPG like I posited. Instead, it seems to be closer to The Matrix, SAO, or The Oasis. The website calls it a solution / digital world that was created as a way to find peace and perfection, even saying it signifies mankind's decision to abandon the material world. Additionally, the corruption in the manga actually seems to be something called records corruption. What's causing this is unknown, but we are aware that it ended the idyllic peace of Elysium and brought suffering upon the lands. As for Tempus and its status as a guild, a huge sticking point in that last video, it appears that they are closer to an MMO-style guild. The website states more clearly that the Tempus Guild started in a pub with that name, and it became their assembling point. It implies that there are several other members, which we can now see, and that the first four were simply the founders. However, Altair's bio also states that he was the first adventurer to step foot in Elysium, so Tempus may very well be the only adventurers guild there is. So, ultimately, my big theory from last time wasn't quite right. These aren't the cast of an RPG, but they are playing one. This information implies that every member is another human who has abandoned our world for a shot in a utopic virtual one. Also, this premise means that the redacted character in the manga could have just been another person that was killed or transformed by the records corruption, a point we'll discuss more of later. Finally, on to the new lore. Let's start by expanding on those corrections about the world of Elysium. The preview leads off with Altair solidifying that Elysium is both the name of the city and the name of the world as a whole. Meanwhile, the website also clarifies that the city of Elysium lies within the country of Utopia. Fittingly for an RPG story, we're then introduced to the next level and a new part of this world, the far-off land of Xenokuni. Literally meaning alien land, with Xeno meaning alien, and Kuni being Japanese for country. Thus, as you'd expect, you can see Xenokuni is clearly inspired by Japan. Known as both the land of craftsmen and of righteousness, Xenokuni was also promised to be a utopian land of peace, but instead found itself in a cycle of destruction and creation thanks to the continuing onslaught of the records corruption. Two members of Tempus, the jester and secretary Gavis Bettel and the pilot Machina X Fleon, embarked to Xenokuni. While there, the two found themselves two allies, the exorcist Banzuin Haka and the Ronin Josuiji Shindi. Oh, and a giant mech that Fleon just claimed for his own? During their trip, according to both the Tempus members and the website, our traveling duo found themselves in the midst of a battle with a bunch of corruption beasts attacking the city. That's when Haka and Shinri stepped in, Shinri joining them willingly and Haka not so willingly. Now, the name corruption beasts is easily the thing that sticks out the most there.
There we go.
Okay, maybe the second most thing. It's fairly simple to assume that they're beasts made by the records corruption. The important question is, what are they made from? Well, looking at Haka's bio may give us a harrowing answer. If you look at his right arm, you can see it transforming due to the records corruption. This implies that corruption beasts are corrupted entities in Elysium, people and animals whose code has gone bad. Why do I say animals too? Because of this little guy. Phantom is a small creature with the same color scheme as Haka's corrupted arm, and slowly corrupts Bettel's thoughts whenever he's near. Certainly sounds like a corruption beast to me. Additionally, we can guess that this is the possible outcome of Altair's friend who has disappeared. They've been corrupted. Speaking of, let's talk about our boys a bit more. Let's start by pointing out that this specific party of four is known as Tempus Vanguard. Looking to Bettel, he is a purveyor of various performing arts, and his previous travels in Xenokuni earned him the honor of leading the Tempus expedition to the country. He currently works in Axel's combat arena as an entertainer, and, like we already said, he also adopted Little Phantom here, and it's slowly eating away at his brain. Betel doesn't say much lore-wise, but his vast travels do imply that there are certainly more lands out there than just Elysium and Xenokuni. Also, I'm pretty sure he killed a guy. I just need to take a moment to talk about Flayon's debut.
Let's go! The shake machine is broken again?
Holy shit, that was insane. The amount of quality in that animation and how quickly it paints his personality, just fantastic. And maybe it's just because I'm a huge sucker for cool mech UI designs, but hot damn, I just love that whole setup. That said, I would not last 10 minutes in there with its anti-horny systems. Cause yeah, fine, maybe I think Magni's right, and I also want to eat sushi off of his tummy, but that's irrelevant to how much I enjoyed his debut. Anyways, Flayon is an adorable little gremlin and master pilot. While exploring Xenokuni, he got his hands on the Artress, a giant mech that uses his energy to operate, hence why he's always so tired. Me too. These two giant shield-like plates are the control panels of the Artress, and the machine will also murder you if it detects you being too horny, which is a problem because his tail/key is very sensitive. Oh, you actually wanted me to make a joke there? I figured you all would just be able to assume at this point. Well, fine. If I got my hands on that tail, I would. Haka's debut had a lot I didn't understand because I took French in high school and promptly forgot all of it. Could I ask one of my Spanish-speaking friends to translate? Sure. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't help us much, as the most important part is Yagu can transfer through dimensions and isn't afraid of beating his talents when they're out of line.
And I'll do what I want, because I am the great exorcist of Fossil.
Haka himself is an exorcist, which confirms the existence of yokai, and interestingly has inherited Karasutengu data, which implies that certain individuals throughout Elysium were gifted with the data, not DNA, of various mythical creatures to give them superpowers. He joined Betel and Flayon in fighting off corruption beasts, and then joined Tempus after Betel shot him with a poison dart, put him in a bag, slammed him against a wall, and flew him back to Elysium. As we already said, he's in the process of being corrupted, and he only has 2 spears, as he sold the 3rd spear to Vesper. Finally, the famed archer and ronin, Josuiji Shinri, is... damn. I'm not gonna lie, that art of him with his hair down, it did something to me. Regardless, he was residing in isolation until he saw the other 3 valiantly fighting off the aforementioned beasts, and joined Tempus in a much more willing fashion. Much like Altair, he actually has armor and weapons made of a similar hardened light, and his hand is blue for some reason that he has yet to reveal. Alright, formalities are out of the way, and it's time to get crazy with it. What better place to start getting crazy than me telling you I lied? Remember when I said I was wrong about the RPG thing? Yeah, that was partially a lie. While the world is still more akin to a matrix, there's a key phrase that implies that at least 2 members of Tempus may be NPCs, not players. In the description for Xenokuni, it stated that the frequent assaults by the records corruption and the constant destruction and rebuilding caused the residents of Xenokuni to gain sentience and question the validity of Utopia's name. As I said, this bit of info makes us question, at the very least, Haka and Shinri's roles, as it claims that no one in Xenokuni was an existing sentient being. And I'd argue this all makes sense. Haka likely couldn't be corrupted or imbued with Tengu data if he wasn't already data. Same goes for whatever is going on with Shinri's arm. If we expand on that logic with our previous assumption of Phantom, Betel also has to be an NPC if his mind is being so warped by Phantom's corruption. The original 4 and Flayon are a bit more up in the air, but I'll say it's personally hard to imagine a group of such important figureheads becoming heroes like this without it being intentional. In fact, I'm also willing to stand by my theory from before of who the redacted character is. While it may not be one of us, it very well could have been a player or someone who plugged themselves into Elysium and backed out, leaving a hole in the NPC Altair's memory. Maybe. See, there's one more thing we've got to talk about. The piece most prominent in each piece of concept art, the Hollow Tree. In Always Tide, the members of Vanguard talk about the Hollow Tree, capitalized as a proper noun, and how it ties everyone to this world, and how it will take you home. However, there's a more suspicious line in there too. If you forget who you are and you don't see your face, to that hollow tree, you're always and forever tied. At first, these may seem like separate lines, but when read together, spell out something much more devious. In what situation would someone in a virtual world have forgotten who they truly are and don't see their own face in the mirror? Probably a situation like the Matrix. Everyone in Elysium is a human, but in essence, they're all an NPC of sorts, as they're initially unaware of the state of their surroundings. But after gaining sentience, aka slowly remembering they're not from there, they begin to question the supposed utopia they're actually in. Vanguard asserts that their goal is to reach that place past Paradise's door so that they can grow forevermore. Seeing as how the hollow tree seems to represent this door and the power holding everyone in Elysium, we can assume that it's more akin to a system that is storing and sending data into and out of Elysium and out into the minds of the people plugged in. They're not trying to reach Paradise's door to enter Paradise, they're already in it. They're in Elysium, Utopia. These four are trying to find a way out, back into a world where they can actually live and grow instead of being trapped as perpetual digital avatars. And quite frankly, this is kind of driving me up the wall. This is clearly the most thought out world and story that we've dealt with, and that just means it's the hardest to parse since we can only go off of what they give us. It's not like the others where I can just make stuff up and make it seem right, because we know there's a right answer somewhere. Damn it, Holostars, you did it again! I need more Tempus ASAP! Also, hollow tree, Holostars, it's a hollow tree. You get it? Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. Holostars, Tempus Vanguard, you all are fantastic. I'm loving the story, I'm loving where this is going. Very excited to see more. Very excited to see more of you all. You're fantastic and wonderful. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, you know the YouTube things. If you like this, please share it with your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, whatever. Get someone to put it on a TV at a bar or something. Honestly, if you can convince someone to put this on a TV at a bar, please send me the picture on Twitter at SteveSekai. I also stream on twitch.tv/SteveSekai. There's a patreon.com/SteveSekai. Channel memberships are open, and I'll see you in the next one.